open a case with Matty Johns, who's standing by, host of Morning Glory. Matthew, good afternoon.
Run home. How are you, gentlemen? I have to go through the whole list usually. I thought, let's just simplify it. I don't want to leave anyone out, including our technician man. He's always sort of loitering around.
Oh, that's Carnival Keith.
Yeah, Carnival
We
Keith.
actually don't know what he does. I saw him at the back. He was looking at some sort of singles cruise, and I know he's got a partner.
Yeah.
So I caught him. I was looking over his shoulder. He froths on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise, and I don't think I ever will. Matthew, are you a cruise type person? I say no.
Fletch, I've never been on a cruise either, but I'm keen to go. I'm keen to go. I'd like to do South America. I think it'd be the way to see South America, doing it via a cruise.
Yeah, which way are you going? Are you going clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Oh, that's a good question. I reckon you know what? Qantas have a direct flight to Santiago, so start in Chile and just go down to Argentina, around the bottom there, swing up into Rio. I reckon that'd be a fair sort of cruise.
Get off. And, you got to get off.
Oh, big time. I'll get off, all right.
No, I'm saying get off the...
Oh, right. I was thinking of the
you think of it.
man.
Yeah, you're thinking
of the pump water in there.
Testosterone. Hey, now, Matthew,
Carnival's popped his head up too, by the way.
There he is. His Carnival.
1,100.
He's got, 1,100. Hey, Matthew, why were you late? It's 5:15.
Fingers and pies, Fletch.
Oh, okay.
You know, I had to shoot a commercial over in Willoughby Way, and mate, the traffic on the way back was
horrendous.
It was a real biatch.
Please tell me it's for skills certified.
No, unfortunately it's not, Fletch. Mate,
have you seen that?
Certified.
It's like a hostage video.
Really?
Matthew's just going, if you want to get your skills certified or whatever
it's like I was captured by ISIS. But they're good blokes. We call them NISIS.
Matty,
good blokes are skills certified, lads.
They know, terrific blokes.
Matty, we're talking earlier about GPs. Have you got a GP? Have you got a locked and loaded doctor, or how do you do your GP work?
Geez, it's hard to find a good one. Because back in the day, there were just, like wherever you went to, the GPs are always solid, really good. But man, there's some palookas out there. Some real palookas. And I got a fella. He's a Mad Bunnies man, actually, terrific fella. So I go and see him. The last one I had. The last bloke I had. I used to go in there and he'd say, "How you feeling?" I'd say, "Well, not good. That's the reason I'm here." And he'd go, "Right." There'd be awkward pause, and he'd go, "Okay, what's going on?" I said, "Mate, I'm just crooking the guts, and A, B, and C got this going on." And awkward pause, and he'd say to me, "What do you reckon it could be?" And I'd say, "Well, that's the reason I'm here seeing you." And he'd go, "Mate, I reckon it could be that. Do you reckon it could be that?" And I'd say, "I don't know, it could be that. You reckon? I think I might give you some antibiotics. What do you think about that?" "Oh, sounds pretty good. That's why I'm here." Anyway, I don't go there anymore. What happened when I had one of the things that led to my back surgery? I was getting that, like the back pain, the nerve pain, and you know what it's like. You get the nerve pain down the leg, and I woke up one day and, mate, I was just in agony. I said to Trish, "You've got to take me to the hospital." But I couldn't get in the car. I literally couldn't bend over. Anyway, I said, "Mate, got to call the ambulance." So they called the ambulance. I will say it's probably one of the lowest moments in my life. I'm laying on out the front of my place because I can't move, and my wife and these two young ambulance women were just standing out the top of me as I was crying, right? Oh. And mate, I was in that much agony, and they said, "Righto, have you got a GP?" Okay, yeah. So I give them the number, and they go, "Hello, sir, how you doing? Look, we're the New South Wales ambulance. Look, there's been an incident with Matthew. We're going to need some painkillers straight away. He's in a really bad way." "No, sir. So we're the New South Wales ambulance, sir. He can't get in the car." And they hung up and they said, "No, he said he's not going to give them to you. He won't give them to you unless you go into the practice." Oh. And I said, "Over. It's officially we're having a divorce."
Yeah. What a palooka.
Yeah, there's some that really toe the line.
Yep.
And there's some who are so liberal.
The New South Wales ambulance authorities are on the line, Brian, and he's still doing that.
Well, we had a bloke at the Knights, and I don't mind mentioning him, Dr. Peter McGeek, just a champion. One of just the greatest blokes, and anything he could do for you. I remember once, Mate, Trish had an anaphylactic. She had an anaphylactic. The head was swelling up, and
I have that problem. I have that problem daily.
You do. Yours never went down. Anyway, anyway, she's in a bad way, and I rang Pete. I said, mate, what do you reckon you'll be? He said, mate, just stay there. Mate, it was 1 o'clock in the morning, and he drove 45 minutes to the house to administer an injection. He once, I had a wrestle mucking around with an old teammate of mine. We played the Storm one day, Robbie Ross. And we had a wrestle in a nightclub, and I fell on a schooner glass and needed 10 stitches down the side of my knee. But we're having such a great time. So I rang Pete and I said, listen, Pete, I'm at Fanny's nightclub. Can you come and stitch me up? He said, yeah, no problem. So he came into the nightclub, stitched me up, and just shouted him a beer, and we just kept going.
Yeah. Some doctors, you need a good doctor, good accountant, and a good lawyer. That's what they say.
Well, mate, Neil Halpin, Dr. Halpin, champion.
One of the best. One of the best. I'll tell you a story offline what happened with me.
Yeah.
Hey, Matthew, let's talk about the Brisbane Broncos. So, I mean, we keep talking about the coach. So they've gone through Seibold, through Walters, now Maguire. Is it time the Brisbane hierarchy say, well, you know what? This is not the problem. It's the players. Do they start looking at saying, well, we need a clean out?
That's it, Fletch. I think up there they get a bit intoxicated because you look at the team on paper and it's such a glamour side on paper. And I think, fellas, I think that's part of the problem. Like Cooper Cronk said to me the other day, he said, sort of put me on the spot and said, what would you do if you were Madge? You go, oh, geez, well, I mean, where do you start? Firstly, what is the problem? Because we're guessing, we're not really sure. And I thought about it and I said, when you think of the Broncos, right, the identity of the Broncos is like the 34-30 team, the side that can blow teams away, glamour, sideline to sideline football. If I was Madge, I'd just go to them and say, listen, in the next month, we're going to work on a style of football that we're going to win 1-0. Right, that's what our attitude is. We're just going to this is how we're going to do. We're going to build everything towards just defence-minded, and if we have to win 1-0 in Golden Point, we will. Because I think at the moment they're too attack-orientated. There's one thing certain, boys, and you blokes have been part of sides like this. If there's two frames of mind, right? If we went into on one frame of mind, we said, right, we're going out this weekend, Joel, Fletch, we're going to play a style of football. We're going to blow this side away by 50 points. And then the other state of mind is, Joel, Fletch, we're going to go out this week, right up, we're going to play a style of football that if we have to, we're going to win 1-0. I can guarantee you the attitude that we're going to win 1-0 will spawn more points than the other attitude. Because it's the things that are really important that you do to get that 1-0 result, or that you would be in the frame of mind to get a result like that. All the points you scored just come off hard work, grit. I mean, defence sets you up in attack, and I know vice versa to a certain extent. That's the only thing, boys, that I can hazard a guess of what's going on. I do not buy into the discussion that they're tired, they look mentally tired. And look, like Madge might push sides 5% harder than other sides. But everyone trains hard. Look at the Melbourne Storm, right? And they might put more work in them over the years, but I don't cop that. Put it this way: sides that I've played in that have ended up nowhere have been full of blokes who are whinging, saying on a Tuesday, "Oh, I hope we're not doing fitness. We're training too hard."
Yeah. Well,
Tuara Nickau, like Chris Anderson once said about Tuara Nickau, he said they were doing. At Melbourne, when it first kicked off, he said they had a lot of young blokes in that side. There was Lazo and all that, but there were a lot of young blokes. And, mate, they used to train that hard. And the young blokes used to whinge. And Tuara Nickau said, I'm telling you now, boys, it takes a lot more energy to whinge than it is to just get out in the training park and just do it.
Yeah, well. Matty, we've got Amy Drews knocking on the door with the news. Can you hang around for another 5, or are you under the Donald Trump?
Yeah, good as gold.
Okay, beautiful. So, Brian, we've got the news coming up now. Matty's going to hang around for another 5 or so. And what about the text line? Just before we go
text message here. Absolutely one of the best. Dr. What did you say? What's your name? Dr. McGow?
Dr.
McGeach.
Dr. Peter McGeach.
Peter McGeach, top doctor. Fletch, did Neil Halpin? No, I'm not reading that out. This one, Jake. Jake's texted a couple of times, Matthew. He called you the heavy breather.
Mate, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
On our podcast, we get complaints through to son Jack John saying, "Can you do something with your old man's heavy breathing?" Yeah. I can't breathe through my nose. I apologise to the SEN listener.
Okay.
Have you ever had the ENT, Matty?
No, it's about the only thing I haven't done.
And with Joel and Fletch and Matty Johns standing by, good to have Matty hanging around with us, Brian. We're talking about some of the big changes this week. So Reece Walsh back.
Yep. Jackie Whiten, Cody Walker. You're pretty bullish on the Bunnies, Matthew, aren't you, when they get all their contingent back?
Oh, keep an eye on the Bunnies, fellas. It's a strange competition, this one. Like Melbourne Storm, red-hot favourites, but all those blokes playing State of Origin football takes a toll. And, mate, this competition is one that someone could just come out of nowhere and snatch it, I reckon.
What were you? 100%. It's one of those comps. Raiders could do it.
Yeah, bloody oath they could.
They could do it, absolutely. I think Tourist was saying they've not won the minor premiership, so they've still got 3 buys.
1990.
1990.
1990. It's a one and only. Now I know minor premierships. So, they don't mean much, but
they mean a fair bit.
Well, at the end of the day, you want to win the comp. Obviously, it helps. You finish 1 or 2, but they seem to be getting more confident. Like that win against
Bunnies?
the Chooks. No, the Raiders.
Oh, Raiders. Oh, yeah, we're talking about mate. They're going great. Really dangerous game this week against Souths. Those players coming back. And the Raiders coming off a couple of really big wins, tough wins as well. But I like them. They can most definitely win the competition. They're just a great mix of really tough, experienced blokes and young, fast, fearless players. Like that young winger, Tamale.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, what about him?
Yeah,
just come out of the ground.
He was at the Dragons.
Yep.
How do they not see it? Like, I don't get. Like, I know players do improve sometimes with their environment and coaching and stuff like that, but he had 9 tackle busts last week against the Chooks. But he's been doing that all year.
And he was also doing that in the Dragons and lower grades, and so the numbers were there.
Personality.
Manly Junior
right.
as well. Junior played for the Chroma Kingfishers, and a lot of the young local blokes around here, they were telling me about him before I saw him. I spoke to one of them before he made his first grade debut for the Dragons last year. They said keep an eye on him, and he looked handy, but he was, he's pretty green around the gills. But then obviously he apparently met with Ricky and just loved him. Ricky sold him on the place and where it was going, and all the other young players there. Mate, KO Weeks, mate, like seriously, like that. The improvement and the belief in this Raiders side, I reckon, through weeks, I reckon he's most symbolic of it. Last week, that try set up, that crucial try was a beauty.
Okay, I'm going to say this: if the Raiders finish top 4, does Sticky get the Coach of the Year, Dalian Coach of the Year? Or does he have to finish top 2?
Him and Cam Sorreldo, I tell you what, they're level pegging at the moment, Fletch.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I know Ricky coached you blokes to the Premiership in 2002. I reckon this is his finest coaching year.
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be. What about this, Matty? So, like, if you want to sum it up by market sentiment, right? So they were the best back team for the Spoon.
Yeah.
Halfway through the year, they've got the most wins. That is some achievement.
Yeah. Oh. So what did the traders see, or whoever sets those?
Well, it's the market. It's us. It's the people.
It's the people.
They were just backing. They were backing the Raiders for the Spoon.
Was the price good enough?
It wasn't an outlandish price, but yeah.
No, but I suppose the public didn't see KO Weeks coming through, that Tamale coming through.
Mate, similar to when Penrith won the comp in 2003. All those young guys like Nullavow that came through, guys that you'd never heard of before, that just all of a sudden hit first grade and just caught fire and just went right through the year having a great season, and they nabbed the competition. And even taking Preston Campbell at that time, he left the Cronulla Sharks, and
that's right.
He was going through a crisis of confidence. Went to the Panthers under Johnny Lang. He was the right coach for him. Put him in at 6. And just exploded, and they won it out of nowhere. And that year, they were the most back team to get the wooden spoon.
Matthew, this is a message for you from the Ranger Knight. I'm a Knights tragic. The Knights are ranked 3rd in points against. Is there any positives we can take from this to salvage our season?
The term Knights tragic is certainly has a ring to it at the moment, doesn't it? I don't know. Watching them last week, just sitting on the couch, they just never looked likely, did they? Like a side, no offence to Dragons are on the improve. The last month you can see them starting to improve and starting to get the idea of how Flino wants them to play. But Newcastle were never in that fight.
Would you call it insipid?
Insipid performance.
Yeah, that's my word of the day. Insipid.
Yeah, mate. And they got Manly this week. Big game up there.
Yep.
Kalen back in the side. This is a crucial game. Of course, I think they're $1.03 to miss the 8. They're long odds. Okay, I get that, to make the 8. But if they can win this game, if they can have a good next couple of weeks of football, then they can probably set their sights a little bit and say, right, we're going to win all these games in a row, but are we capable of doing it? And it just, it changes your mindset for the season. But if we lose this game this week, suddenly I reckon the mindset of the players will be, just got to avoid the wooden spoon. And that makes the back end of the year just a bludger of a year.
I'll tell you what, if you're a Knights supporter, you're thinking about next year, not just yet, but obviously, Dylan Brown, the last month of football, has been really good.
He has.
The only worry I have is it's been because he's been at 6 and he's had a organising 7 inside him. So I wonder if they're thinking a different way now, seeing what Moses has done to his game, because they can't, as we have seen him when he is the boss, when he's the number 7, doesn't sort of, you don't get the best out of him. It doesn't. He's just not that type of player. He's a real free spirit. And talking to Hindy was telling me that he's like, Dylan's just not a student of the game. Like, he's a talented player, but he's not a student of the game. He doesn't watch a lot of the games. Hindy told me that he'd never heard of the Parramatta Eels until he signed there.
Oh, what?
Yeah, ask Hindy. Well, that was Hindy who told him that. He said that he just wasn't a football type of kid. He was a kid who was exceptional at it, but wasn't a student of the game at all. Wasn't a bloke kid who grew up just wanting to be, a rugby league player. So Hindy told me that one. Get him on, just ask you. Send him a text and say, is that true? Yeah, he won't let me down the garden path.
Yeah, hey, Matty, before we let you go, and we've taken up a lot of your time, so we appreciate it. I just want to ask you back on the Broncos, right? So you, having played at the Newcastle Knights, like one team town, and, after success, and I'm talking about the Broncos making that grand final, how hard is it when you're in that one town and you're walking around like the fifth Beatles? Is it hard? Is that an out for them or not?
Well, I'll tell you what, Joel. When you're in a football mad city, you got to be careful that just playing in the first grade side is not enough, because it can be. Because if you're playing first grade for the Newcastle Knights in a city that just loves the game, and you walk around, you're somebody. You know what I mean? You get attention, and it's very easy to think you're cock of the walk and you're strolling around and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, you've got to win. Yep. Righto, and if you play first grade for the Broncos, you're somebody up there, righto, and you'll draw attention, and there'll be fringe benefits for that. But at the end of the day, it's your own discipline, your own pride, is that you've got to convince yourself you aren't anybody until you get out there and you prove yourself, and you can win a competition or you win football games. So, yeah, Joel, I think that is most definitely an issue at certain clubs. One thing about, like, on the Newcastle Knights, one thing with the Knights that I just want to see change a little bit, and what it is, like, back in the day when we signed someone to come to the Newcastle Knights, when they asked, why did you come to the Newcastle Knights, and they'd say, we've come to the Knights because it's a football mad city, it's a terrific team, and it's a team we think I can win the competition at, right? Melbourne Storm, when you hear people talk about the Melbourne Storm, those players, they know how hard they're going to train there, but they go there because they believe they're going to be a better football. They want to play going to Craig Bellamy, they want to play alongside Munster and Harry Grant, and they can win a competition, they're going to get better. Now, my problem with the Knights is every time they interview a player about the Newcastle Knights, they'll say, why did you sign the Knights? And one of the first things they say is, oh, mate, the lifestyle's so good. That's one concern, is that, and there are a few clubs like that. I mean, I think the Gold Coast. Yep. Now, if you sell your club like that and say, mate, come to our city, have a look what we got. Look at the beaches, look at that. Well, that sometimes attracts a certain player.
Like Brent Todd to the Gold Coast.
Yeah, Toddy. One of probably the greatest press conference of all time.
Oh, that's great.
What about at times has changed? Everyone just was laughing, like all the journalists. Like, imagine that doing that now.
Oh, today.
What would happen?
Oh,
What would happen today? Honestly,
Cancellation.
He'd be deregistered. He'd be deregistered.
Yeah.
He would.
And all those journos that laugh lose their job.
Yep. Yeah, that's right. Matthew, good stuff. Great stuff.
On your boys.
See you, Matthew.
Far from insipid, Brian. Tootsie Croker, another win for the Raiders. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Boys are flying, so makes it easier to float around Canberra and still feel like you're a part of it. It's always good.
No, it was awesome, wasn't it? Tootsie, I want to ask you about young Ethan Sanders. How do you think he went?
I thought he was great,
Yeah.
considering he only found out sort of the day before that he was getting a run, and but cool head, level, calm, great kicking game. Your left footer with a big boot, so. Him and Ethan Strange played a lot of junior footy together, a lot of junior rep stuff, a lot of footy together as kids. So they fit in really well, and bit of a glimpse to the future, I guess, with Owen Paddy starting at 9 as well.
Yeah.
And I think Kayo's the oldest in the spine, and he's 22 years old or something. So I thought they handled the occasion really well against a good side as well. It wasn't like we went down and beat up on or played nobody. The Roosters have been going really well, and they're always tough with the talent they have, and it was a really good win.
Tootsie, do you feel, because I know we had Stick on about a month ago, and he says, when the Fogarty news dropped, he said he's going to look for an experienced halfback. Do you feel that maybe what he saw from young Ethan, that's he could handle starting next year?
I think he can, yeah. I think that's the plan still. I feel like Stick's got all the confidence in the world in Eth. That's why we signed him, straight away to get him out of Parramatta and get him down here. So I get the theory behind we do need another half, and it's depth. Like we look at our nines now. We've got Danny Levi at the club still with Tommy and Owen Paddy, and we've got Brayley coming next year. So I'm not sure someone's got to miss out somewhere, or two of them have to miss out. So we do need another half there, but that's not to say we need a starting halfback to come and lead the side. I think Ethan, he showed a really good level of maturity for a 21-year-old on the weekend, and. Look, there's no reason why you can't, pick up a game here and there and get those valuable experiences, and then another pre-season, and away he goes.
Has Stick mellowed a little bit when he coaches his halfbacks? Because I remember he was quite early in his career. He was quite harsh on the sevens. Do you feel like he's sort of made it a little bit more lenient for them?
I think he has, just in life in general, for every player that he coaches now. It was obviously pretty tough. I remember when he first come to the club, I was petrified. Like I was like, what's going to happen here? Like I've heard all these things about him and that, and he certainly mellowed down. Although we did have a few tough sessions there early on in the tough days when we weren't going real well. But I think. He's gone a lot with the game, and he's certainly mellowed down, and on his halves as well, especially with young kids. It's like these days, mate, with kids in all aspects and areas of the game, and society itself, you can't be too hard on them, mate, because it's just the way the world is at the moment. You sort of got to, they need a cuddle every now and then, but Stick's really good, and he's got a really good coaching staff. He's a good delegator. He has attack and defence, and, he lets them do his job, and, he does still get passionate and getting behind him, and he's forever in there telling Jamal to, halfway through a set of 6, he said, "Do it, Torpy, do this, do that." And Jamal's actually one of them blokes who'll turn around and just not do it, or he'll argue back with him. So Stick loves that. He loves that passion and that. He wants people to talk to him and tell him what they think as well. So Jamal's really good at that. I don't know how much Ethan will do that early in his career, talking back to the boss, but Jamal's really good at. Saying what he believes is best, and Stick obviously sometimes believes it, sometimes he doesn't, but that's the good part of the club, and that's probably one of the great parts about Sticky.
Chatting with Raiders legend Jarrod Tootsie Croker. Now, you speak about Ethan Sanders, who plays his first ever game for the Canberra Raiders. At the other end of the spectrum, there's a bloke called Josh Papalii, who's set to break Jason Croker's record for the most capped Raider of all time. Tell us a little bit about this bloke. He's a bit of a quiet guy, really. You don't see a lot of him in the press. Tell us about Josh Papalii and your times with him. You played a lot of those games with him.
Yeah, lots of them, mate. I love Big Papa. He's one of my favourites, and I was so lucky in my career to play for the one club for such a long time, and to do it with the core group of blokes: Papa, Jack White, and Rapper, Elliot Whitehead, even Joey Taps. that play so much footy together. It's when you don't have it and when you've finished and you're looking back on it all, not many people get to do what we did. And I'm very grateful that Papa was one of them. I got to play so many games for it with him. And the best part about Papa is all these accolades, everything he's done for the club. All the games, all in the front row, mind you, tough as nails. But the rep games, everything. I've never heard a person say a bad word about him off the field. He's just he's a big teddy bear. He doesn't get it. He's not angry. He doesn't. He does what he has to at training. Like he's not a. He's certainly I think the back end of his career, he probably looked after himself a lot more than he did the younger side of his career when he was a kid. But with around diets and weights and all those things, he probably struggled with that more when he was a bit younger, but he's just on top of it all now. And I think his wife, Seppa's, helped him out a lot with that. And, mate, he's just a bloke who's on top of his game and, knows what he needs to do week in, week out and does it really well. He's coming off the bench the last couple of weeks. He's been unbelievable. I think their Warriors game against the big pack over there, he come on and played for like 18 minutes and ran for 130 metres or something ridiculous. Like was just powerful. And he's so dense when not that I've ever tried to hit him, but when you try to hit him, it'd be like hitting a brick shit house. Like he just doesn't move, the big fella. And mate, he's just a bloke that everyone wants to play with and everyone loves, regardless of what he's done on the field. That's how everyone sees him, which I think is a great aspect for him.
Hopefully a big crowd's going to be down there. They're talking about over 20,000 now. A young fella who's been part of the promotion, Brian. Have you seen young Noah Papalii?
No, is that Josh's young bloke?
Mate, it is mini-me. It's a little Papalii. Oh, mate, it is a spitting image of his dad. He's got the long hair.
How old's Noah?
Oh, how old's he, Toots?
Mate, I think he's about 7, I think, Noah. Yeah. So, mate, he just walks around. He signs autographs in the tunnel at the stadium. Like he just gets around like he's the man. That funny. He's awesome.
You could not see him walk in and not know it's his son.
Yeah,
I'm going to
straight away.
I'm going to have. Has he got long hair?
Yeah, everything's the same.
He's got a mullet. He's a dead ringer, mate. Like you cannot. He was just walking around on Sunday night after the game. Like the boys were all walking around the stadium, and he was just walking through the middle of Allianz Stadium by himself on the grass. I'm like, what's Noah doing? He's just floating around. He talks to other players. Like if he sees a Samoan fella like that Josh Papalii or something, he'll just go up and off. Mate, he loves it.
It's so good. So good. Like your tips too.
Yes.
Tootsie, a lot of people are saying.
Now
Tootsie,
I got a DM by Tootsie. Not a DM. I got a WhatsApp by Tootsie. I was cheering those home, Tootsie. I took the multi on, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. Was it Friday? Friday night?
Yeah, Friday Wagga.
Oh.
Jeez, we nearly got there. The Wizard too. The Wizard was on.
Because I was looking at it, and it was how when you can say live betting in the rate. Oh, I'm just looking at Noah. Oh, what a little champion!
Yeah, jump on the Raiders socials. That you cannot. Oh. You just know it's his son, don't you?
It's Josh.
What a champion!
That's like Costa and Tim Zoo. That's that level.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
What, you're still here? Well, you can see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio, you beautiful humans.